Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how I think that the Ringu chapter actually has kind of restored my faith in DBD DLCs. And I think for the longest time, DBD DLCs have been kind of boring and uneventful for the most part. Because if you really think about it, especially from the killer side of things, the killers have been basically the same for almost a whole year up until this point, right? Because Trickster, anti-chase killer, but not a whole lot of map pressure. Nemesis, anti-chase killer without a whole lot of map pressure. Pinhead, anti-chase killer with a little bit of map pressure because of the box situation. And then Artists with, you know, anti-chase killer with a little bit of map pressure. So essentially the archetype for killers in DBD, the archetype for killers in Dead by Daylight up until this point for an entire year. So we got 4 killers that were basically the same archetype that was basically, hey, my whole thing is stopping chases without little to basically no map control whatsoever and no sort of map presence whatsoever. That has been the main thing that they have done for literally a year straight. And I think that, and I alluded to this in the Ringu first impressions video, but like, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to have an anti-chase killer, because obviously as survivors get better and better at the game, there's less and less that killers can do to answer that, especially if you're playing somebody like Clown, Myers, etc. So like anti-chase killers make sense just because of the rising, you know, strength and coordination of survivors. However, I think when we get to this point where it's like quite literally like every single character you're putting out is this same kind of like vaguely good but bad at map pressure character, like it gets really boring after a long while, because it's just like, oh brother, like, and you heard it from both sides were like, wow, Ringu's gonna come out and she's gonna be another anti-chase killer and I'm not really interested, you know, like that's what a lot of people were saying before Ringu came out. Because, and then, like, you know, to their credit, for a whole year, that's a long time to be putting out the exact same product for a whole year with very little variation, just different IPs, sometimes original, sometimes not. They were just putting out the exact same character or a character with a very similar base kit. So, like, to their credit, like, yeah, like, following the track record, yeah, like, essentially it kind of had been, you know, doing the same thing basically like the entire time. So like I don't blame them at all for making that assumption, because, well, you know, the track record showed that that's kind of what they were interested in making. So the fact that Ringu came out, did not have an anti-chase part of her kit, just had a lot of crazy fun map presence that wasn't really like restricted at all, and has this really fun condemn mechanic, even if it's a little underwhelming, and it's just kind of like thematically really cool. Like, kind of like made me feel happy. Like, I wanted to play as her, I wanted to play against her. The entire time I tested last Tuesday, it was just a good time. No matter what side of the equation I was on, I was having a good time on both sides. So I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. They can still do this. They can still make interesting killer concepts and that are fun to fight and to play as. Wow. I was so impressed, because I know that a lot of people are like, but she's weak though. But I'm like, do we really want the 5th anti-chase killer in a row? Do we really want that? Because like at this point, it's starting to get kind of boring. And by kind of, I mean a lot of boring. It's starting to get a lot of boring. So I'm really happy that her character design was fundamentally different in a really fun and cool way. And I literally can't wait to play her. And, you know, now you know, behavior has essentially proved to me that, like, hey, we still have more tricks in our bag. It's not just going to be anti-chase killers until the game's life cycle ends. Like, we got cool, interesting ideas that we can throw into characters to mix things up, give you a different play style that is similar to other characters, but like at the same time, like very different and unique. And I was like, thank goodness. Thank goodness. So yeah, hopefully you feel the same way. Do you think that Ringu has inspired you to think that like maybe all the behavior DLCs won't be the same? Or are you still like, hey, listen, just because they took a break once does not mean it's going to be that way? Let me know. And if you did like my video, make sure you do the likes. And if you want to stick around for more of my videos, because I do upload daily, make sure you do the subscriber-onies. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, friends. I'll see you in the next video. And if I don't, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.